Hello. I've missed you. It's been a while since we've caught up. If you're new here, I'm Plum, and this is Plum ASMR. Before we get started today, I would love if you went ahead and smashed that like and subscribe button. I would say you could do it at the end of the video, but you know, the whole point of ASMR for a lot of people is to fall asleep. So you'll probably be asleep by the end of the video, and then you won't be able to like or subscribe, and I would hate that. I would hate for that to happen to you. A little update in my life. As you know, I am starting a class called Knowing One's Brain and One's Body through the Art of Skateboarding. I got my first board a few days ago. It is a Yelnats, if anybody knows that brand of skateboards. It's a popular brand among boarders. I got a Yelnats skateboard. This video is going to be all about some of my favorite things. So let's get into it. First things first. One of my new favorite books. This book is called, let me scooch over so that he's in the frame. This book is called New York Times best-selling author Guy Fieri with Anne Volkween. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Anne Volkween. Maybe it's Volkween. I wouldn't know. Diners, drive-ins, dives. The Funky Finds in Flavortown. Flavortown. It's so silly. He's hilarious. Flavortown is not really a physical space so much as I've learned a state of mind. Anybody can be at Flavortown at any time of the day or of the afternoon, of the morning, or of the night. You could be in prison and still, if you had the right things, maybe access to some fiery hot Cheetos or what have you, you could still be in Flavortown in prison. I've not been to prison, but I do know some people who have been to prison. Not personally, or just they're friends of friends. I do have some friends of friends that have been to prison. It's not that my friends are close with them. Not that there's anything wrong with your friends being close to somebody that was in prison. And I do want to be clear that the crimes these people, these friends of friends were in prison for they have to do with protesting injustices, human rights, and animal rights injustices. Okay, back to the book. America's Classic Joints and Killer Comfort Food. Comfort. When I think of comfort food, the first type of food that I think of is my grandma's bologna surprise. Bologna surprise is just a piece of bologna, I guess, Yeah, but the way my grandma would make it would be different. She would toss it on our faces. Yeah, so if I was like, I'm hungry, my grandma would say, bologna surprise, and she'd toss a piece of bologna on my face, and if I asked, hey, do we have anything other than bologna, she would say, not for you, chump. I miss her so much. Okay, let's find a recipe in this book that we can look at. I find reading just so invigorating. Whenever, I have a moment where I feel silly. We've all had moments where we feel silly. One moment I had, for example, where I felt silly, I poured concrete into my dishwasher where the detergent goes. Instead of dishwashing detergent, I poured concrete. Concrete. So, whenever I feel silly, like the time I poured concrete into my dishwasher, I like to read because reading makes me feel smart. Okay. See that? See that? That's Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps. The reason I know about Michael Phelps is because I used to watch the Olympics. I used to be a big Olympics fan. Every time the Olympics would come on, I would turn them on, and I would imagine that I was an Olympian winning an Olympic medal. The medals in the Olympics tend to go from bronze to silver, and gold. I always wanted a medal that was made of something more, I don't know, organic. Something like wood. Or something like seaweed. If I had a medal of seaweed, nobody could take it from me. Here is a map of Flavortown. This is a shark. I suppose that indicates where all the tasty shark can be found. I've never eaten shark before, but I hear they have no bones, so I suppose eating shark could actually be a lot easier than eating something like, for example, a goose. If I were to eat a goose, I would have to work around so many bones, but if I'm eating a shark, I only have to work around the cartilage. Okay, so on the coast, the East Coast is where you can find the best shark. So I've never seen anyone eat a bell, but this is a bell that they have. Yeah, I've just never seen that before. I'm sure that it's done. or they wouldn't have included it in this map. But I just have never firsthand seen someone eat what is a bell that appears to be made of metal. Ah, yes, in Florida you can get the very best coconuts. Coconuts. Excuse me, Floridian, can I have some coconuts? A little taste of coconuts helps the medicine be digested. Okay, and then down here by these two states, which if I'm not mistaken are southern states in the southern United States, we have a stuffed shrimp. Yeah, it appears that the inside of that shrimp has been scooped out and replaced with mashed potatoes. Sorry, replaced by mashed potatoes. I wouldn't think that a shrimp, which is such a small thing to eat when you really think about it, I wouldn't think that that would need to be scooped out and replaced with anything else, but you know, to each their own, of course. I would never judge people for the choices that they make. I know that people, no matter where they're from, you know, if you're from Florida or if you're from Rhode Island, either way, here I have found a recipe for a sweet bourbon sauce. So it calls for a 1/4 cup cornstarch. Cornstarch. When I think about cornstarch, I think about the traffic outside is so loud. I'm so embarrassed. Anyways, when I think about cornstarch, I think about, you know, someone starching their clothes, and I don't know what starching one's clothes means. That's just an expression I've heard kind of frequently, so that's what I think about, and I don't, you know, it's an unsatisfying thought, right? Because I don't even know. All right, 1/4 cup powdered sugar, 1/8 teaspoon cayenne pepper, 1/8 teaspoon salt, 1/8 teaspoon ground black pepper, and the wet mixture is 3/4 cup bourbon, 2 tablespoons soy sauce, soy sauce. Okay, oof, now we're at it. 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. I believe that's how it's pronounced, Worcestershire. 2 tablespoons pure maple syrup. Maple syrup. You know, there's kids that work at maple syrup forest factory things that have to spend all day searching for trees to stab with one of those maple syrup stabby things. And that's really sad when you think about it, because kids shouldn't be, you know, trekking around a forest looking for a tree to stab. That should be grown-ups' responsibility. Okay, and then we have 1/3 cup sesame oil. Oil, oil, oil. My grandmother is from the South, and she used to say oil or something else, or oil maybe. I don't know. I miss her. All right, 2.5 tablespoons balsamic vinegar, 1 teaspoon Dijon mustard. I've always wondered if Dijon mustard is named after a guy named Dijon. Dijon. Like, is Dijon a variant of John? Just with like a D in front of it? Imagine. Okay, and then also 1 teaspoon minced garlic, 1 teaspoon minced onion, 1.5 teaspoons Tabasco sauce, spicy, 1/2 cup packed brown sugar, and finally 1/2 cup granulated sugar. To me personally, that sounds like entirely too many ingredients. I would never make this, not in a million years, because that's 1, 2, 3. I don't want to count the rest of them, but I'm assuming at least 30 ingredients. Okay. Let's move on to another one of my favorite things. Another one of my favorite things is stickers. I've collected this collection all over the world. Some of these stickers are from the United States. Some of them are from other locations in the United States, but locations that are kind of far apart. Yeah, so all over the world. Alright, so what do I do with the stickers? Okay, so I have a connection, in my opinion, with some type of higher power, some type of parallel universe, perhaps, some type of something. You don't have to believe anything that you don't want to believe. No one's gonna force you to believe anything. You can think it's silly, you can think it's nonsense, you can think there's no reason for it. But I believe that the stickers, when handled correctly, can tell the future, can sometimes tell the past, events that have already occurred, and can sometimes give advice for what to do next. So whenever I'm struggling to find an answer for something in my life, I like to consult the stickers and see if they lead me or guide me in any type of direction. I'm just now noticing, I think that I have kind of a significant armpit stain here with the sweat. But as you may notice, it's in the shape of a butterfly. And my grandma, she used to kill every butterfly that she saw. So it feels like this is her speaking to me. Some things, they're just hard to explain. Anyways, I thought I would give you kind of a reading read the stickers. I'm not claiming that I'm an expert or I made this up, I'm not claiming that I know everything, but this feels right. I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. If it's not helpful, leave it. If it is helpful, absorb it, consume it. Okay, we have received 3 different stickers. Let's interpret them. This is what appears to be a cat. Cats are wise, they're clever, they are rambunctious, sometimes they're naughty. This cat in particular seems like he loves to scamper and, dig through trash maybe. I believe that this sticker was placed in my hand because we're meant to be a little bit aloof this month. Aloof in the manner of a cat. We're not supposed to listen to people that don't deserve our frequencies. This cat is an invitation to be aloof this month. Okay. Next, we have this dinosaur. Dinosaurs always signify the past, for obvious reasons. This sticker feels like it's telling us to embrace the past, to claim the past, to discover the past. And this final sticker is a snail with mail on top of its head. This sticker is also got a little gas bubble behind it, as if the snail's farting. And if you look closely, there's a heart on top of the envelope, and I believe that heart means that the letters are love letters. So this snail, and snails are notoriously slow, if you know anything about snails, is delivering your love, but ever so painfully slowly. So I think this sticker indicates that love is coming just very, very, very slowly. It might take years, it might take decades, it could take centuries, but somewhere love will be found. Take that for what it's worth. Let us do another reading with the stickers. As you see, I'm not looking at the stickers at all. I'm not trying to influence the results of this reading, if you can call it a reading. sometimes I like to kind of massage the stickers. I find that if the stickers have less tension, there tends to be less tension in the past or present or future. Okay. Then I swirl my fingers around, as you can see, like that. Oh! I reject that reading, and I have the right to reject a reading. What just happened now is I got a sticker that I found uninspiring. And that's true for life as well. If you get a person in your life that you find uninspiring, you're allowed to reject that person. You're allowed to reject the very idea that you must give that person part of yourself. All of us have the right to say no, I guess is what that comes down to. All right, let's see, secondary reading. Okay, so we got another dinosaur, and as I told you before, dinosaurs tend to indicate the past. This dinosaur is happy, seems to be happily waddling along. And with what we know about the story of dinosaurs, he has no reason to be happy. He is headed towards certain destruction. Him personally, yes, and his species also. This may be a sign that you are happily walking into a disaster, naively waddling on your little legs towards an outcome that you're not going to find pleasant. And you're maybe making choices at this time that you would make differently were you to know what was coming. Yeah, I believe that's what this represents. And then the second sticker that was placed in my hand was this bus or van. On the side it says explore. So, yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. This means that it's time to get out of your house or your comfort zone or your neighborhood or your town or your township or your province or your county or your city, or perhaps you need to get out of your state or your country or your cul-de-sac or your driveway. Or maybe it means you need to get out of your own head. Finally, the last favorite thing of the day is going to be my collection of writing utensils. In this bag, I have a variety of different types of writing utensils. I'm going to go through some of them and what I would use them for. were I to need to write something down at any point. First, we have this purple mixed media gel stick by King Art. That's just a fancy word for oil pastel. I would use this perhaps if I was doing art, making a mosaic, but a mosaic that was only on a piece of paper, making a mural, but not the kind of mural that's on a wall, the kind of mural that's just on a piece of paper. This is the color purple. Purple is the color of royalty. Purple is the color of the Minnesota Vikings. Purple is the color of the Charlotte Hornets. Purple is the color of Wildberry Pop-Tarts. Purple is the color of artificial grape. This is the same color as some bird somewhere, maybe. Let's find another one. The next writing utensil that I've pulled out of my handy dandy little bag is this diamond pen. I would only use such a high value writing utensil if I were signing an important document. Perhaps if I was signing a diamond purchase paper, like if I were buying a diamond, you know, I imagine I would be buying a diamond that was made ethically in a small batch laboratory run by scientists and Canadians. I wouldn't. Someone in my home coughed. I'll reprimand them later. I wouldn't buy an unethical diamond. I would only buy a diamond that was made in the right kind of conditions. But if I were to be signing a diamond purchase agreement, this might be what I signed it with. Next, we have one of these. I love the way these smell. They remind me of my childhood. Me and my cousins, of which I have 46, would gather around on the screen porch, and we would find all the Sharpies that we could in the house, or they didn't have to be name brand Sharpies. They could be really any permanent marker or even dry erase marker. And there were quite a few of those in the house because my papa ran a moving service where he would label people's boxes for them. He wouldn't pack anything or move anything, but once you were packed, he would write in very clear handwriting on the side of your boxes. You know, he would write out the contents of what's in that box for you. So there were a lot of Sharpies and other permanent markers in the home. And me and my cousins would gather around and we would just smell them and smell them and smell them until we got dizzy. And then our grandma would come in and she would say, "Who wants a bologna surprise?" And that's one of the times where she would throw bologna on our faces. Yeah. I've gotten some paper. And I've written paper in this pen. Felt tip. Let's test the Sharpie out as well, shall we? One time I went to a public pool with my grandma, and she brought a pack of Oscar Mayer bologna with her. And I was in the pool. It was a public pool, I think I said that. And there were a lot of kids from my neighborhood there. There's a lot of kids from my school there. There were a few kids from my bowling league. There were several kids from my youth group. And my grandma pulled out that bologna and she threw a piece on my face as I was swimming. And I couldn't see anything because there was bologna over my eyes. So how was I supposed to see? And she yelled, "Bologna surprise!" And all the kids in the pool started laughing and saying, Bologna surprise. Give her an egg that's fried. Egg that's fried. Bologna surprise. And then this kid, Mauricio, pulled out an egg, and it was a hot summer's day in Florida. He cracked the egg on the sidewalk, and he fried it. And then he threw the egg onto my face, and there it sat, piece of bologna with a fried egg on top. Yeah. Yeah. My grandma, huh? Funny lady.